So let's begin. And hello and welcome to our final reveal. We are coming into the eyes for our Axies. So we have the most adorable card here. I hope this is something that I get to play. Coming in here, the atmosphere is electric. Just how close to Origin are we? I'm hoping in the next week or two. Okay, so while we let that simmer and marinate, we have our final set of Origin cards, the Eyes. It's the first time in Axie's 4-year history that Eyes will have their own cards. So cards will dynamic, they're going to change, we already know, and we have the arts there. Without further ado, here are Origin's Eye cards. So starting off with the plant, we have Papi. Papi over here is a 45 heal. It's a gentle heal, and it's a sleepy boy. Target any ally whenever this is drawn, heal 20. Right? So this is like the leaf bug variant where these cards actually get their value as soon as they are played, right? Or as soon as they're drawn, and you can play it for the extra heal. The only thing is I don't like the heal. I prefer the shield because the shield you can hold and use for next turn. As opposed to the heal, if you're full, it does nothing. Okay, and coming into confusion, we have this cute little drunk plant that it shuffles one confuse into your opponent's discard pile. So this is on 60 attack, so this is an okay card, but it shuffles one confuse. And if you did not know what confused was, this card is a 0 energy card that is banished at the end of the turn, but it will brick your opponent's card draw. So for 1 energy to do 1 card, I don't think it's going to be super great, but we'll see. It will add into the value if you combine it with more and more brick cards, right? Next up, we have the Cucumber Slice, which a lot of people have. It's so adorable. This guy's lounging. So this is a 2 energy. So it is a touch expensive on 50 heal, right? It's going to be a little difficult. Let me zoom in real quick so people can see. Nice full size view. So it's heal your team and apply heal boost. Heal boost is going to be very interesting because this actually makes it so this is a support. And this will add a flat amount of healing to all of for your next, I think, 5 cards, I believe. It's either your next 5 cards or it will apply a 5 times multiplier. So this is plus 5 times. So this will be interesting, very, very interesting. And I don't know if that's going to last for the rest of the turn or not. I want to see what else that will do. So we have Blossom here. We have a 0 cost, very suspicious. This plant is it's vegan. You see the scissors here? Do you see this guy? He's scared. And he's hungry. This one is a hungry boy. So it's put 1 plant card from your draw pile into your hand, banish. Why do I think this is scuffed? I think this card is going to get modified because we have the Nemo variant, right? So Nemo is a 0 that is 1 energy. Oh, 1 energy, 1 draw. No, this is actually Telescope. Sorry. I got those cards confused. This is exactly in line with Telescope. So this makes sense. So after you play it, this card is banished and you put 1 plant card. So you pull a specific card, right? So this is targeted draw. So if you say, I need a plant card like a Sirius right now, I will pull it out and I will get rid of this card. Why is the banish useful? Because once this is banished, it is no longer in the match. This makes it so makes your deck smaller, right? So if your deck was 18 cards and you banish, now it's at 17 cards. You have a higher chance of drawing your other cards. But if you keep playing more and more banishes until you say you go all the way down to 12 cards, you have less cards, so you have more chances of drawing the ones that you actually need because you thin the deck, right? As the deck gets thinner and thinner, it gets more and more reliable to drawing your better cards. On the second set, we have the reptiles. On the first card, we have the gecko, which is horrifying. Guys, I don't like this. Because this is a gecko tail, but this is a reptile. Is this cannibalism? So it's a 0 cost that heals for 25. This actually loses 50 HP. Heal and cleanse 1 debuff on your other allies. So he feeds his tail to his team. Oh no. He's on the gecko. Okay, but we have this actually, so it loses 50 HP, but it has the cleanse, right? So cleanse is not, this just removes 1 debuff. As opposed, it doesn't block a debuff, it will remove. So this is an AoE Biden's card for 0, which is actually pretty strong if you think about this. This will actually counter poison teams because they will play the Yam, put poison up on everyone. You can play Gecko and it will remove all of those poison, unless they rework poison in a different fashion. On the right side now, we have the Tricky. This is another heal card. So from Eyes, we see that we have a lot of supportive cards. We have another heal coming in here. So Tricky is a skill that says if initial. So this is a first card, right? This is the first card played in that turn. Swap this card with 1 selected card in your banish pile. I knew there was a mechanic like this. So normally you have your graveyard. This is your discard pile. And these cards will cycle back into your deck once your deck is empty, right? But you have your banish pile here. Usually we won't see those cards, but now Tricky can actually go into the banish and take one out. Interesting. So it says it swaps this card with one selected. So you can swap out. So all those cards that are banished, you can actually draw an additional one and play it again. So banish usually has strong implications, right? Like this. You can play 2. That's going to be doubling up on very, very powerful cards. So I will actually love to see a lot of tricky cards come into play. On the bottom left, we have Scar, which is, oh, it's so cute. He's taking care of a little baby turtle. Tortoise with a spiky shield. So this one is the draw for Reptile, right? It draws 1, pulls 1 Reptile card, and then it banishes. But it's so cute. I love the art. And the last one is the Topaz. We've seen a lot of this eyes. This is what Crotch has. And I hope Crotch is actually going to be able to get some value out of this. So this is 25 damage. Deal 10 bonus damage per banished card. So Reptile Eyes are actually going to be using banished synergy, which is going to be very, very interesting. I want to see how that goes into there. That's going to be very, very fun. So reptiles are going to be banished. Let's see what the beasts can operate with. So we have the cute card from the front. This is the crane game on a 0 cost. Zeal. This is the beast card. So this is the beast draw. I want this card. I want this card just because it's so cute. He pulls the beast exactly what it is, right? Okay. And next up we have little peas. Little peas? Like a little pea like this, right? Little peas. Will draw. It applies a vulnerable for 4 turns. So what vulnerable is its bonus damage. So it is plus damage percentage taken, right? So this is actually really, really useful because if you use it on a tank, the tank now takes a lot of damage for 4 turns. He has to tank it out, but it's going to be really, really tough because if you attack with this first, all 4 of your next cards will lead into bonus damage. And that's going to be really, really hard to sustain. Okay, so Puppy. Puppy is so cute too. I love the beast cards. We have Puppy here. It's going to be the putting 1 beast card from your discard pile into your hand. So we actually have 2. Interestingly enough, if you have Zeal and Puppy, you would be pulling 2 beast cards into your hand, right? But there is a slight difference. Put 1 beast card from your draw pile, and this one's put 1 beast card from your discard pile. So Puppy is a recycle. Right? Zeal is the search. Zeal searches in your deck for the card that you need to play. And Puppy is a recycle. What that does is you can play a beast card in 1 turn, and then you can play Puppy to bring that card right back out of your discard. So you can play the same card twice in 1 turn, right? Or you can save it for later. That's going to be very, very strong. Interesting. And next up, we actually have Chubby. Oh, Chubby looks so cute. Chubby is the samurai. He goes ching, shwing. And he will actually AoE everyone for 50 damage. This is very, very strong. So this is actually a 2 energy 150 damage card. But we can see once you apply plus damage to this, the implications are this will actually get a lot of plus value out of the plus damage, which is going to be absolutely beautiful. He just looks at it. So Puppy does like to dig stuff up, right? He wants to find it. Right? And then Zeal is you're gonna pluck one out. You're gonna get the one that you need. And Puppy is the one that he's gonna pull stuff out of the ground that you've already used, right? Out of the graveyard. Next up is the bug cards. We have the leading card of Bookworm that's operating on a 0. So it looks like the eyes are actually gonna be a lot of the card draws, right? So this one's from the draw pile. So this one is the search card. And then we have the nerdy. Discard up to 2 cards, then draw that many. So this is targeted discard, which is actually very, very strong. In case you guys are wondering, why would you want to play these? Because if you have a, let's say you drew, like miraculously you drew all of your 2 costs and 2 1s, right? You can now discard up to 2, right? You can discard your 2 2s, and now you can draw 2. If you draw 2 0s, that means you can play your 2, 1, your 1, or 2, your 1, and your double 0s. So these 2 cards are not useless anymore. So that would cycle into it. Actually, for this to make sense, this would actually have to be a 0 because it would have to be one of the nerdies, right? So if you draw 2, 2, 2, 1, 0, you can't play your 2s. You can play your 2, 1, and your 0, but you can discard this and you can look for different cards. You can cycle. So that's actually why discard is strong. Also, in the later game, if we have the brick cards like we saw earlier with the Confuse, right? Confuse is a brick card. So you don't want this in your hand. It's a 0 and it stuffs your card draw. You can discard this and replace it with a more useful card because of this draw right there. So that will actually counter the brick setup. And next we have it Neo, right? We have the cat, or we have the bug going into the matrix. It's a skill that banishes. Look at the top 4 cards of your opponent's draw pile. So you will actually see the future and know exactly what 4 cards they will draw, but they will draw 5, right? So there's 1 card you will not know, but you know up to 5, which is going to be very interesting. So this is for setup, right? Because it still costs 1. It doesn't do anything other than this, and it is a banish, so this will be removed. So this is for 1 turn, you know exactly what your opponent will play. Actually, not what he'll play, what he'll draw. So we have Kataro Eyes. This is a 50 damage card. Attack 1 enemy and apply Death Mark for 4 turns. What is Death Mark? Because the thing is, we do not have crits anymore. Crits were removed from the game. Right now, Death Mark is lethal, which guarantees a crit. Because if Death Mark is what it is, if Death Mark is the same as lethal, it does not make sense. There is no way it would get crit for 4 turns. There is no way. So we need to see what Death Mark is. I believe what Death Mark is it actually might block healing. Because right now we have no cards that block healing. Because it would do that, and it would make it so that your opponent can't heal. So they're marked for death, right? Otherwise, there's no way. Because other people have said, what if it's actually a timer? There's no way, right? If it's a timer that after 4 turns an Axie dies, it would end its turn, or it would just die. No, it doesn't make sense, because in a card game, that doesn't make sense. It will do something that essentially amplifies your effect on that one Axie. This is designed to kill off one guy. Maybe it'll actually apply bonus damage on every single card that hits. Next up is the aquatic cards. The fish are friends, not food eyes. So we have the clear eyes, which a lot of people have, which is really cute, but let's look at the sleepless. The sleepless here. This is me every single night, right? On 60 attack, it will shuffle 1 Daisy into your opponent's card pile. So Daisy is going to be similar to Confuse. We don't know whether it's a 1 cost or not. It's either the 1 cost or a 0 cost. It's a brick card in your opponent's deck, right? So they have to either banish it on play, or else they have to just let it go. Either way, this is a stall, right? It gives them 1 card that they cannot use appropriately. Next up is the clear eyes. Discard up to 2 cards and draw that many. So this is also the same thing. This counters brick cards from the Aqua, so it's the same as the bug card itself. And now we have the Garrow. Apply Fragile for 4 turns. Fragile, we know what this is. Fragile is reduced shield percentage for 4 turns. So for 4 turns, if you play this onto a tank that uses a lot of shields, it will reduce their shield effectiveness. Right? So normally you would play, say, 60 shield on a card. This could make it so that that card is now 40 for 4 turns. So that means you're much weaker on shielding up. So you need to either play heals or attack cards to optimize this. Or you still try to play out your shields and you try to just use whatever reduced amount. But this reduces shield efficiency. And Telescope, we already know. We saw this from the card reveal. It is put 1 Aqua from your draw into your discard, right? So it's a search card. It's cycling for the exact Aqua card that you need. And last but not least, we have the birds. The bird is the word. So we have Mavis. And this is named after the company, which is Sky Mavis, right? So is 1 Mavis, how powerful is this? We do not know, because we do not have any idea what the summons do. Currently, we will have 3 Axies, so we'll drop my 3 dumplings right here. And I believe they will each have their own little summons. We have a little pot coming in here from the plant. This is the little flower. We have a little bird as well. This will be on the bird right there, right? And then the back could be what would be the back? It's probably a little fish. You can summon a little fish, right? So we don't know what these cards will do, these summons. There's been some talk where the summons will give you 1 card to play each, right? This will give a card, this will give a card, and so will this. I don't think so. I might be completely wrong in this. I believe that each of these summons will have a passive effect each turn until they're either removed or until a certain effect. So let's say the fish actually has an effect where it says the fish gains +1 energy and it loses 1 HP and then -1 HP per turn, right? And then the fish would maybe say have 2 HP. And you say, why is this effective? Why is this strong? or it wouldn't be minus 1 HP, it would just lose half. So for 2 turns, 1 turn it stays up, it gives 1 energy. The next turn it stays up, it can give another energy. So as your opponent, do you want to take out the fish or not? Or you can leave it, or you play an Area of Effect card, right? Area of Effect would counter that, but it depends on how much it is and whether it would kill it. That's my speculation, and we'll see what comes in. So Lucas is going to be the bird card draw. So this will be pulling from the draw pile. So this is the search card for birds. So each Axie seems to have 1 search type on its own. On the Little Owl, we know Little Owl because the other 2 parts are already the same. This is the plus damage on 6, right? So it gets up to 18, making this a 78 damage card. Very, very reliable, but no other effects. And next we have Robin. So here's the thing. Would you want to have diversified summons? Because one is a Mavis up here, and one is a Little Robin. So we're going to have different summons for different Axies, right? So now we can see, is this going to be an offensive type? And is the bird up here, the Mavis, is it going to be a defensive type? So it's going to be very, very interesting how we're going to balance summons. Because if one is significantly stronger than the other, people would never use the other summon, right? So they need to balance these out. So one might be a utility one, and one might be a damage one. So we're going to have to see just exactly what that is. And we've come to the end of our Axie reveal. And so now all the parts are out, and everyone is going to be theory crafting as many origin parts as possible, and I'm going to be doing that myself. And so we're going to come into another video like that in the near future. But if you like what you see, don't forget to like and subscribe, and hit that whatever that thing is that does the ding. I will draw that right here. You guys know what it is, right? You guys know what it is. So give that a tap, and I will see you guys in the next video.